Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my Shop My Stash video. Here is my project pan and Shop My Stash basket. I generally take out some products to use and then I put them back basically. So I'm going to go through the products that we were working on the last time and put them back and then pick out some new things. So if you're interested in doing that with me, then let's just get on into that. Okay, I'm still adjusting with this tripod. Hang on. There we go. Is that any better? Is that any better? Okay, there we go. So the first thing I had in my rotation was the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. This is a glowy primer and I actually quite like it. I wonder where I am. Can you see? Oh, there's a window here. There's a window here, but there's product here. So there's like an air bubble here, but I actually quite liked it. It was a glowy primer, but it wasn't too glittery and it was actually quite nice. So I use it a lot because, spoiler alert, I finished the final primer in my project pan and I'm just working on whatever primer I want before the next update where I roll in a primer pretty much. So this one I used and I enjoyed. And then for foundation, I had this one that I had gotten from Ruth. She decluttered 4 foundations from her collection to me, which I really appreciate. This is the Essence Pretty Natural Hydrating Foundation in the shade 030 Ivory. The colour appeared to work for me. There's 30 mils in here. I'm down to here now. If you can see, she is getting a bit thinner, which is kind of exciting. It is a standard size, 30 mils or 1.01 fluid ounce. All right, I thought 30 mils was a fluid ounce, but I don't speak fluid ounces. So this is going back into my collection. This was fuller than anticipated in terms of coverage. So there's that. It isn't my favorite foundation to use. I have ones I prefer over it, but there was nothing wrong with it. I just found it a bit full is all. Just a little bit full and a little bit I like glowy foundations, but I am quite oily, so this was a wet, like it was wet on my skin pretty much. That's it. What else was in terms of, oh yeah, so we have some bonus pan. So I rolled in 2 powders the last time. The first one was this one and I had no pan in it, and I got this from Hélène and it's the Annabelle Perfect Matte Translucent Powder, and I have 2, so I have 2 pressed powders that are like skin, like my skin, or translucent color. And then I have 3 or 4 that are banana. So I only have 2 that I can use in terms of setting my face. So this one I have Big Juicy Lucy Hooly Booly Pannual. Is that not a massive pan? Oh, look at that. So I really like this. So I'm using my Project Pan powder and I've put it into here. It's a loose powder. I've put some in here and I use it under my eyes and on my face if I need to. And then during the day, I will use this because it's easier and not as messy as a loose powder. So I'm actually going to leave this out and just use it as needs be. I'm trying to prioritize my Project Pan one, but you know, I'm not going to carry that in my handbag. Then the other one, which didn't have pan but now has pan, is my Banana Powder Essence Brighten Up. And I got this from Ruth. And this is in the shade 10 Banana. And I quite like it. If you use a lot of it, on me anyway, it will oxidize. You just use a little bit and it's lovely. And I've hit a Juicy Lucy Pannual in this also. And I really like this for under the eye. And that's kind of why I really want to finish this one, because I prefer this. This isn't the Hourglass, this is the RCMA. I prefer this to this. So anyway, I'm going to also leave this out and just use it as needs be. So those 2 are staying in my rotation. For concealer, I had rolled in the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 20, I believe. And I'm actually leaving this out because if you've seen my Team Project Pan, this rolled into there. So this is staying out. It's a little bit too dark for me right now, but it works. It's kind of like a hybrid, not a hybrid, like a crossover shade into my deeper shades. So it works when we have like tan as well. So I'm leaving that out. For brows, I only have 2 brow pencils right now. And this is the AOA Studios in the shade Taupe. And I got so much use out of this and it's just a little bit too dark. I get away with it. I'm curious to see what the lighter shade to this is. It's just a little bit too dark and a smidge warmer, but I do get away with it. So I would repurchase because I like the micro tip. I actually prefer it to the e.l.f. and this is cheaper than the e.l.f. because of the tip, but the colour is just a bit off. So I would buy this again when I run out. I'll try and see what the lighter shade is, but the taupe, I get away with it, but it's not ideal. So that's going back, and I'll roll in my next pencil. I only have 2, so that's fine. For eyeshadow primer, I'm working on my Urban Decay one, but I roll this one in just to get used. It's more, I think it's more glitter glue. It says glitter and shadow glue. It performs very similarly. Look at the packaging rubbing off very similarly to the NYX glitter glue. This is the BH Cosmetics Base Booster, and I just got a few uses out of it. In terms of eyeshadow primer, I prefer this. Like this, it really does, whatever about it had issues with it kind of curdling sometimes, it really does keep my eyeshadow on literally all day, even though I'm so oily. But this is not as nice as that, but in terms of a glitter glue, then yes. But if I was to use it as a primer, then not as much. So this is going back. So I also had this single eyeshadow out from Colourpop, and this is in the shade Free Rain. It's a Super Shock shadow in an ultra glitter, and I'm actually going to keep this out because I really like it. If I can see the look that I created with it, just have a look at that. It's just, I'm really into these tones right now. It's just like this matte, sorry, it's this shimmery brown sultry loveliness. I have eyeshadow on my hand right now because I was frankening just before this video. God, it's just such a nice shade, so I'm actually not done with it, so I'm going to leave it out. So that's that. It has a little bit of some gold sparkles through it as well, so I'm leaving that out. Then for kind of, oh yeah, I roll in 1 pigment per update. This is the copper pigment. It is really nice. I just don't use my pigments that often, but it is lovely. And that's going to go back into my collection. It is really nice. Look at it. It's really like, MAC pigments are so good. I rolled in this Tower 28 Bronzino in Suncoast. What is the shade that I always see people having? I know it depends on your skin tone, but it's hardly Suncoast. I really like this. It's just a bit too, it's just light. It's very, very light. It's almost like a highlighter. I know it doesn't look like it. I really enjoy it. It's just very, very like a highlighter. I get away with it now being pale as a bronzer, but you couldn't put a powder anywhere near it because it would just blend into your skin then. I quite like it, but it is extremely fair, this shade anyway. But I really like it and I got use out of it. I love this. Love this. And a powder bronzer I rolled in is the Jouer Duo in light to medium. What is it? It's in Sunlight and Suntan. Thought there'd be a name on it. I really enjoyed this actually. I saw Kat pan this, was it last year? I don't know how she panned it. Like, she's so good at panning face products. I cannot see what you're seeing, so I hope the lighting is okay. But this is kind of more contoury or darker, and this one is a little bit lighter, and actually got a good bit of use out of it. The squares are still there, but there's disruption on the pan, and they are matte bronzers, and I like it. I really like it. I think it's a good product actually. It's actually quite good. It's kind of like, I know it's matte, but it's kind of like a satinier version of the Hoola bronzer to me. I rolled this e.l.f. monochromatic multi-stick in the shade Glistening Peach. This was new. This was new. Look at that. It was new. Look how far down it is. That's how much I used of it. I really like this color. This is just affordable, but also a gorgeous color. The only con I can mention is it does come off my face. Can you see that color? It's just, I personally like buildable. It's like a cream to powder, you know what I mean? It comes off. I do need a bit to put a bit on. I really enjoy it. I really like it. It just comes off. It's not sticky on your face either. It's affordable and yet it's not sticky. Really enjoyed it. Glad I got so much use out of a newer product in my collection. Excuse me. I rolled in my final blush palette. Is that my final blush palette? The 2 biggest blush palettes anyway. I rolled this in and I got loads of use out of this. Loads and loads of use. I used some of these 7 times. I have the no pan left behind rule, so I tried my best to make sure Everything bar one thing has been entirely used, but I'll explain it when I get to it. Some of these colors, this is the Makeup Revolution blush palette, by the way. Some of these colors don't come up the same on your cheek as they are in the pan. These two look very similar in the pan. They're not, oops daisies, they're not on your face. This is my least favorite shade. These colors don't pull entirely like these colors, but I'd love to pan it. I can't remember, I panned this and I can't remember how long it took me. I think, a part of me thinks it was 50 something uses to hit pan, or else it was 90 something uses. I just can't remember. But I would just love to finish a lot of this, but I know I won't do that one. And then I have this problem where if I see one left, I won't be able to declutter it. I'll have to pan it, but it's just relentless. These are extremely pigmented blushes, so they'd be so difficult to pan. So I'm just trying to get use out of them, but I got a lot of use out of this and I'm happy with it. So that can go back. For red lipsticks, I only had a few red lipsticks left and I used them all, but I pulled them all back out because I'm making a list. So I pulled all my red lipsticks back out. Again, all my ColourPop ones, because I have a few that are liquid lipsticks and I know I love them. But I pulled these back out with my only red lip liner that really is more pink than red. But here we are. And these are the three that I'm putting back because this on my list, these three I want to keep and I like, and they're not messy. These three are not messy, and I know they say Matte X on some of them, but they really just aren't. So Skywalking, Chi Chi, and Fly Fi. I have Fly Fi on right now and it's not messing around my face, but it's not really, really dry either, so it's perfect. Red are just so hard for me to get on my forehead and everything, so this is going back into my collection and I'm keeping these. And then the other lip products I had, I forgot. This one, and yeah, is that everything? Sorry, I totally forgot about these. I had these in as well. I got such use out of this. So I was kind of chopping blocking this because it's a liquid lipstick. This is the Tarteist lip paint in the shade Front Row. I have a lot of looks with this on my Instagram. So if you put this on and you put a lip gloss directly on top, in my case, I was using the NYX Tiramisu. This does not dry down. It does not dry down at all, but then it performs like a regular lipstick where it falls off your face. It doesn't move around your face, but it comes off easily. So I was just putting this on directly as I put the liquid lipstick on, and it's gorgeous. Like, if you're curious, look at my Instagram. I have it in my Makeup Looks highlights, but it was really gorgeous. So I'm really happy that I did that. So that's staying out or going away. And then I also did a look with this on my Instagram as well. Oops, this is the Lime Crime Salem liquid lipstick, and this one didn't really dry down that much either. I thought Recollection said that this was extremely dry, but it wasn't. It wasn't extremely dry. It's really, really deep dark brown chocolate, and it's kind of gorgeous, to be honest. It's kind of gorgeous, and I don't own anything like it in my collection, and that's going back. So I'm glad I did that. I'm glad that I did that. And now it's time for eyeshadows. So I had rolled, this is the only one I didn't reach my goal on, so this is going to stay out. I wanted to film this because I've been using these products for quite a while. I'm kind of sick of it, so I want to roll in different ones. So this is the Smoke Sessions, and I didn't reach my goal on this. I have used 4 out of the 8 shades so far. This one, these 2, and this one. And I have this today. I like this palette a lot, okay, but these mattes are kind of patchy on me. If you have this, are these patchy on you? I have this one on again today, this shade here, and it's in my crease and it's just quite patchy. Could be the brush, but I used this shade I think 3 times, and I did use 2 different brushes, and it's just not the easiest to blend. It's such a gorgeous shade. This is gorgeous. I really like it, but I didn't reach my goal, so this will be staying out. Okay, and then this, oopsie-daisies, this is the singles I had rolled in. It looks a tad different. I've used all the shades in here. This one is a new shade from Terra Moons. Can you see? Here's the mirror in your way. From Terra Moons. There was a, like this, only quite, it was a very, very, very dark brown that was orange undertones, or like an orangey red base, and it actually shattered, so that's in the bin. But this is in here now. I used all the shades. These are my, bar that Terra Moon. This is Terra Moon's. This is Chickadee from Makeup Geek. This is Cocoa Bear. I can't remember what this is, but it's from Makeup Geek. The rest are from my Nubian 3 Coral from Juvia's Place, and it's gorgeous. And I actually really like it in here. And this compact is from Shop Miss A, which is good. I'm really happy about that. So that can go back because I've used all the shades in this one. This one here is the Juicy Olive from Give Me Glow, and this is super expensive to get to Ireland, okay? Because the shipping is huge, but the formula is just so good. I used all the shades in here as well. And if I can put the look up, I will. I didn't save it into my phone, so we'll see. It's on my Instagram for sure, but I'll put it up if I can. This is just, oh, the formula of Give Me Glow is just really very good. Really very good. The mattes are so blendable. It's so nice, I think, and the shimmers are just frickin' insane. And I think if it's green you're going for, I actually think this is better than the Natasha Denona Gold palette. But I used all the shades in here. This is going back into my collection, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And even though it cost a lot of money, I was lucky enough to be able to do that at that time, and I don't regret it because it is excellent. Excellent. The other one I reached my goal on, which wasn't in this rotation, I just pulled it out and managed to use all the shades, the final one being today. And this is the Natasha Denona Mini Star. See, bearing in mind, I'm trying to use my pan palette and my pan in every palette as well. And there's like 30 shades in those and a single. So I used this entirely. This green shade is the one I'm using today. This is very good quality for a little palette. And it's small and handy, but it's extremely good quality. I really like it. Like, you can do a neutral here as well. Like, look at that. For the green, I did pull in other shades. And for this duochrome, it's really lovely. It's going back into my collection. And we used all of the shades. The Natasha Denona Gold palette is what held this process up. I've used all of the shades in here again. So here we are with this. This side is really lovely for every day. This side wasn't as good as I remembered it being for some reason. It's different. See, I find that there's different textures and formulas in most of the Natasha Denona palettes that I have, and I actually personally really like that. This side is stunning, but you see, I did this juicy olive green look, and then the very next day I did a load of green looks back to back from this one, and it's just that I liked this one better because this shade is a topper shade. Oops. A kind of a creamy shade. They're lovely. It's a really lovely palette. Obviously it's really messy. I don't care. I hate a mess, especially with makeup. I get like a little bit, I don't know, but when it comes to this type, I seem to enjoy it because it looks used and juicy. But yes, I've used all of the shades in here. This one wasn't as nice. This shade here isn't as nice. I have to figure out a better way of like, it's grand. It's a nice topper shade. See, it's just not what I envisioned in my mind. So I kind of want to pull these out and put them in a palette and use them that way as well, because I really loved this side and I liked dipping in here, and this shade here is gorgeous. It was just these weren't what I imagined them to be anymore. Well, not this. 1, 2, 3, 4, just the 4. But yes, really love Natasha Denona personally. So these are all going back into my collection, these ones. And just before we shop my stash, I want to show you one palette. Okay, so for my next rotation, I don't know if you guys are new or whatever, I keep some of my palettes up here that are big, and also the ones that I'm using at the moment are up here as well. So I just wanted to bring your attention to here, because one of the palettes I know I want to roll into the next rotation is this Give Me Glow Pastel Dreams, because you know what? I surprisingly use this palette a lot. A lot, because for like the matte shades to build other looks. So this is coming in and it will be remaining in until the no pan left behind. So just so you don't forget, I now have 2 palettes in, so that's still in, and I just kind of want to prioritize my pan palette as well. But yes, I'm feeling some pastels, so that is going to stay in. Such a beautiful, like, it's just super like out of this world. Who run this world? I think their mattes are just crazy. Their mattes are crazy as well. I don't know why I'm swatching the shimmers and then talking about the mattes. But like, it's just gorgeous. I hope you can see it for what it is. But it's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So this is coming in. I also don't really own any yellows, so I'm kind of glad that we have a yellow here. It's thin as well. Right, so that's staying. That fits 2 palettes in one divider. Now, on to the rest of the shopping of the stash. Okay, so the first drawer is powders, primers, concealers, foundations. I do have more foundations than I obviously have more everything that I need in certain categories, but you know what I mean. So this primer is the one we had. I'm going to put that back, and this foundation is going back. Now, what do I want to use? So for powders, we're okay because we kept the powders in, and I'm also panning this one. And then for primer, I actually kind of want to pull this one in. This is the Fenty Soft Silk Pro Filter Hydrating Base Hydratant. Sorry, this is 15 mils and it's a glass compact. I bought this from Boots in the smaller size just to see, and I quite like this. It reminds me a little bit of, well, it reminds me a lot of this one here, and I really like this. I'm more picky with primers now, and this type of one I really do enjoy. So this is coming out and I quite like it. So that's coming out. For concealers, these are all the concealers that I own. I struggle with the shades. So we have one that we're panning. I recently did this one, so this is okay. I've been using this one when I have tan on. Out of all of these e.l.f. concealers here, none of them are a correct match for when I'm at my fairest. This is too fair. So it's going in because I used that the last time. This is too dark right now. This is the shade 10 from the Maybelline Fit Me. And then, so these are your options. I'm wearing this one I have tan on, and I like this one. I wonder what everyone else, the hype is around, but the Flawless concealer, we have the Flawless, and we have the Hydrating Camo, and we have whatever this is. Camo Concealer Matte, Hydrating, and Flawless. And I seem to quite like the Flawless. It's just in the shade light beige, so that's my fake tan shade. So that I kind of pull out organically. So it's between these two again. They're so similar. I know that Rebecca Morgan was or is panning one of these, and that works for her now. But it's a little bit too dark for me. I'll roll in light peach. These are all my concealers are new now at this point. They're not old. Then for foundation. So the thing about foundation is, right, I have 3 that are, well, let me just explain this. 1, 2, and then where is the other one? 3. The rest are all my fair shades. These are my only in air quotes, dark shades. There's only one of these 3 that actually work on its own when I have a tan or fake tan on. So I roll that in organically when I'm wearing tan. These 2 are like this kind of works. This is in the shade F5. It's from Makeup Revolution, but it pulls quite pink. And even though I have a pink undertone, when I'm wearing fake tan, I pull more yellow than pink, so it's very noticeable, and it's not quite dark enough. So I kind of use that organically on the way in and out. This is the Hydromaniac from Urban Decay in the shade 20 and 20 Fair. And last year I thought this worked for me when I had a tan, but I had a tan the other day on, and I only had medium on my skin, and this was actually too light. So I kind of want to just pull those organically and see. I am fair again. Should I roll this in? Because that means I'll have used all of Ruth's ones again in rotation. There's Ruth. Where's the other Ruths? Ruth, 1, 2. Where are the other Ruths? Did Ruth not? Yeah, 3. Maybe I thought she gave me 4. Oh, it's over here. That's the Wet n Wild. Okay, so I'll roll in this Born to Glow one in the shade Vanilla. 30 mils again. Isn't it amazing that this is 30 mils? And this is 30 mils, but the size difference. So I'm going to roll in a Vanilla from them. So that's that. Let's go on to the next drawer. This drawer, can you see in here now? This drawer is my face palettes on the left, my setting sprays. I used to have way more setting sprays. I just used them up, and then because I was at home so much, I didn't feel the need to buy any more until I'm going out and about more, which is starting to happen. But to be honest, I'd rather use this particular one up before. And this one I think this is the best setting spray that I've ever used. But yeah. Oh, do you know what I never told you? I was using this an awful lot as well. This is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer, and this, I have very, very oily skin that's dehydrated. This is like this in primer form. This stops your makeup from falling off. It's like sticky glue, and my God, does it work. So I feel like at the moment I would have to have this in my collection because it really does keep your makeup on. So I did use that as well, I forgot to mention. So I have 2 setting sprays right now. I'm going to put back this. I want to roll a pigment into every rotation. I rolled this one in the last time. And then over here is all my mascaras and all my brow products. And I don't have many brow products. So I've rolled in this and this and this, and I'm keeping in my Super Shock that I had in. Should I roll in another one just to get used to it? Yeah, I'll roll in this next one, which is the Twitter Pated. And I rolled in Set to Stone the time before, like. So this is Twitter Pated, and I'm going to roll this one in with the other one. So beautiful these are. You can't actually see. Oh no. Okay, well, that's good to roll it in to see if it's dried up, because I didn't get it that long ago. And I only used it recently. Look at the stain from the Super Shock. Okay, so that's coming in. The other one is not going out. And then I'm going to roll another pigment in. And this time we're rolling the MAC Tan. Yeah, the MAC Tan pigment. This is going to be so messy. I have to be so careful. Ooh, and I'm clumsy as heck. Okay, let's just... There we go. And let me close this before I do anything more. I decluttered all of my pigments last year. Like a lot of them, I mean. Can you see that there? So that's coming in. Let's see how we feel about that. I might move these pigments down here. And move these down. Right. If I want to use a coloured eye, maybe I'll roll a coloured eyeliner in as well. I'll roll the yellow one in, will I? Yeah, I'll roll the yellow one in from Inglot. I got this last summer. And I've barely used it. I'm really looking for coloured eyeliners, but in pencil form. Now, I'm going to roll that in. This yellow one is in the shade 84. If you're wondering. Now, for face palettes, we're putting back this one. We used the Tarte one the last time. So I'm stuck between these 3. So... in terms of this one, this is the Juvia's Place Saharan Blush Volume 2. That bottom shade in the middle I use as a highlighter. Will I roll that one in? This NARS Orgasm, I think I didn't need to buy. Shouldn't have bought it, to be honest. This shade this is the only highlighter shade that works for me. This is too dark. So as soon as I get a tan, I need to start working on that because I have no other way that I can wear it. I like the look of this. Just can't use this shade, but I can use all of the other ones right now, like because these are blushes and that is a highlighter. So that is an option here. I hope the mirror isn't blinding you, is it? It is. There we go. Oops. And then the last one, which is something I wanted to roll into my Project Pan, but I don't know. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. This was expensive, 75 euros. I had bought it in 2019. I think it was 2019. And I just really like it. I really like it. This bronzer I have to apply with a stippling kind of brush to like a dense one to get it to come up. These two I use as highlighters and blush toppers. Blush topper, highlighter. Like that has dual capacity. So which do I do? Because I kind of want to get used to them all. Oh God, this is so difficult. I'm making this more difficult than it needs to be. You know what? Let me just see. It's not going to be this one right now because I want to have a bit more of a tan. Or I don't. I just want to... It's between these two. And I might roll this into my project. So I'll roll this one in then. So I'm going to roll in this one and use every shade. I use this as a highlighter. This is like a blush topper for me. It's very, very, very pigmented. These are really pigmented. Really, really lovely. Can you see that? Very pigmented, so like it's very hard for me to use this one. They're just so pigmented. I don't really prefer pigmented blushes. If I could pick it, it'd be buildable all the way for my skin tone and preference. Because it's very, very easy for me to overdo it. So that's coming out. And then for brow products, I have 2. So I need to put back one. So I'm swapping around now. So this is going back and this is coming out. For those of you who don't know, I wear one mascara at a time, so I won't be putting in a mascara. This is the e.l.f. Brow Pencil Instant Lift in the shade Taupe. This color match is better, except that it isn't a micro brow tip, so it's hard for me to do. Well, you can't do the front of your brows the way that I want to do them. So you can basically just fill it in like a block versus getting individual brush strokes. So even though it's affordable, it's not what I want personally in terms of a brow shape. It's just handy. It's just, should I be bothering? I don't know, but I'm rolling this guy in. And then for primer, I own 4 and one is already in. One is already in my stash. This is a glitter glue, so I will just use that as I need to. This really should just be more of a glitter glue than anything else. And then I'll roll in this Anastasia eye primer. I do like this one. This is the 2ml one and I got it from Hélène. Thank you so much to Hélène. I used up one of these before and I really enjoy it. I have one brow gel. I had 2. I'm just about finished the second one. I have one clear one and one colored one, and what disappoints me is this one, it's done, like, but I don't have another clear one now, so I don't want to buy another one. Do you know what I mean? This frustrates me because I don't want to. Some categories I'm now at the point where I may need to repurchase, so I won't roll in this. I'll just keep, like, this really is done, but sure, look, it's staying in. So the next drawer, what is the next drawer? Is it lips? Yeah, because I moved. I had really bad. I'll explain it to you. I'll explain it to you as we go. All right, let's put all of these back. I won't be rolling in any of these ColourPop ones because I have loads out. So these are all keeps now, so we're happy with that. This tiramisu from NYX. This butter gloss is a very pigmented gloss, an opaque. Just in case you somehow have not used them, they are opaque. And these 2 liquid lipsticks are going back. So that goes here and here. Okay, and I am panning. Lipsticks as well. I kind of want to pull in another one of these because I really enjoyed it the last time. What about this one? I might roll this one in this time. This one is in the shade Rosé. So maybe we should roll in Rosé. If I swatch this, it won't come off my arm. And then a lip gloss. We rolled in tiramisu the last time, so I'll roll in creme brulee this time and have these 2 going together. This one is a bit more peachy. I do like these. This is probably older than I should, but it smells perfect still, so I'm happy. So these 2 are coming out. And you know what? I'm going to leave it at that. Maybe actually I'm going to roll this one in as well because I've been eyeballing it. I was panning this last year. This, like, it's meant to be a lip gloss, but it is the most opaque thing I've ever seen in my life. So this really goes on just as a lipstick and gloss together. This is in the shade Tuned In from MAC. So I'm going to roll that in. It's very dark brown. Very, very dark on me. Mightn't even look it on my hand, but on my face, that's very, very dark. It's lovely. It's just, you use it on its own. Now the next, so the thing that's changed is eyeshadow palettes are now, they're 2 drawers, but they're now on either side, this side and the other side, because I hurt my back and I couldn't bend. But we're kind of okay now. Oh, yeah, so I'm going to move across to complexion products. Okay, so we're here again. One thing I forgot to mention, this wasn't in my rotation, but I did use it a lot as well. Anytime I went somewhere where I wanted to look nice, which was twice, I wore this one. This is a glowier, not too glowy, like a satin finish blush in the shade Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury. And thank you to those of you on Instagram who helped me fix this. So thank you. I really like this. Surprisingly, really, really, really like this. Pillow Talk Cheek to Chic. This one can go back now. Oh no. Okay. This can go back. This is in my oh, just in case anyone is new here. So these are all my powdered blushes and one cream. But anyway, powdered blushes, powder and cream bronzers, highlighters, powders and cream, and then like excess. I don't know what you can see. Trying my best Hang on. That could help. Okay, so we're going to put back this bronzer into here. Please fit. How did I do this before? Okay. Like I took it out of this spot here, so how could it be this way? Yeah, look, it's two. There we go. Oh, you know, I just want to say, see this NARS Laguna bronzer? My spreadsheet says I've used this 83 times, and I'm wondering, did I do a typo or something? Doesn't look like I've used it that many times. Okay, cream bronzer. This can go back in here. And is that everything? Because I used that blush palette as well, so I've pulled out a lot of blushes. But yeah, no, I always like to have a cream blush in. What did I have for highlighter? Oh, yes. I frankened the highlighters that were in this project, or whatever this is. So these are all my powder and cream highlighters. I have 2 cream highlighters at the moment in individual form, if you can see that here. Can you see? There. Okay, and this is excess, or like cream blush and excess. So when I roll in this cream blush in from Tower 28 in Beach Please, so it looks super cool, or not totally synced because I've used that a lot already. So maybe I roll in one of these this time. The MAC Glow Play brushes, Glow Play in Blush Please or So Natural. These are worth the hype, unfortunately. Cream to powder, absolutely love it. And I hate to say worth the hype, but worth the hype. Totally, as my mental state and experiences are at this present moment in time, I believe that they're worth the hype. I waited until recently from when they were released to get them. What will I roll in? I think I'll actually roll this one in. Rolling, rolling, rolling. So this one is going to come in this time. This one is in, can you see all my body parts? You can. This is in the shade Blush Please. It's cream to powder and it's just so yummy. Such a yummy, yummy formula. Dare I say probably the best I've used so far. This is a cream to powder, very easy to blend, absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, love it. Recently purchased after a very, very long time of wanting it. Now I have 10,000 blushes in this project and 2 highlighters. Well, like 1 highlighter and 1 I can't use as a highlighter, but yeah. Right, we have a blush. Why is this like this? Let's move everything forward a bit. I have a blush back there at the back as well, but it doesn't fit upright because it's too tall. Ugh. So that's that. Then for highlighter, we have this one is another highlighter over here from Hélène as well. And then some of these are too dark that I kind of use at this time of year. This is a little bit too pigmented. Would I roll in this one? Or will I roll in? This is one I got in Aldi recently from Liqueur in the shade Show Up. I literally just got it very recently, like within the last 2 or 3 months. So I don't like these brushes, but I kept it for a reason. Cool. Will I use that or will I use Opal? I haven't used that in a while. I think I'll use, oh wait, no. Was this too dark for me last year at this time of year? Shade Opal. I might roll that in. Yeah, I think I will roll that in. Oh, and I forgot to mention I was using this Nabla Privilege, even though it wasn't rolled in, just was. So there's that. So yeah, I'll roll in Opal from Becca. Okay, and then bronzer. Fill a bronzer. I'm panning a bronzer. I used all 2 of these. I used bronzer and light bronzer during this last rotation just by myself. For the Physician Formula Butter bronzers are like one of the best bronzers I've ever tried. I know people are sensitive to smell, so that's just FYI, it's very smelly. Not in a bad way, just is very fragranced. Now, you know what? I'm going to roll this in because this is actually a blush, but I use it as a bronzer and I purchased it before they had bronzers. This is the Patrick Ta in the shade She's So LA, and I bought this because it was super hyped by loads of people, and I don't think, so far, I don't think it's worth all of that hype. I think it's like, could have lived without it. So I'm like, is it because though I'm using something as a bronzer that should be a blush, but I just don't think it's that great. I think it's okay, it's not bad, it's just like meh. So I'm going to roll it in again and see what we can do here. I'm going to try it the opposite way around because I saw people say that you can put the powder on top of that So I'm going to try it both ways. Do you want me to swatch it for you? Imagine if you answered me, I'd get some fright. Okay, so here's the cream. Like, it's fine. It's fine. It's just, there was so much hype around it that I was like, all right. You know, when I used it, I was like, all right, yeah, bronzer. It's just, do you see what I mean? Like, that's just kind of balmy, right? It's not bad. It's just like, it's expensive. Like, come on. That's, I really, 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 really want their eyeshadow palette. The first one more than the second one, but it's not, the only place that stocks it in Europe that I'm aware of is Cult Beauty, and it's not in stock. So if I were to purchase it, it's been restocked on the Patrick Ta website. I would have to pay customs. And I'm like, is it going to be another one of these, a situation where you're like, oh, for God's sake, why? You know, so that's coming in. Now it's on to more eyeshadows. Bearing in mind we have 2 palettes in. So I moved my eyeshadow palettes, another one over to here. So I could reach on both sides without bending, because my back was quite sore. Oh my God, you're seeing my rubbish bin. It's so embarrassing. My back was quite sore for a good while, and I was like, is this ever going to end? And my mom always has back pain, so I don't know how she copes. Okay, so this is the palette drawer number 1 that I'll be using today. I use 2 palette drawers, even though I could probably fit everything into the one drawer, because I like to see, and then I have stuff up the top. So from this side, I don't want to overdo it because we do no pan left behind. So what's in this one? I always mix the 2 up. I keep the box. This is I got from Christine Ann, Pat McGrath. Will I roll this one in, or is it too much right now? Because I have a plan. No, not this time. Not this time. I have a plan in my mind. Kind of. Close. Anyway, love everything in here. This was one I wanted to roll in. This one here is the Star Wars one from Pat McGrath that I got from Christine Ann, and I can't even tell you. It's just the most shocking thing in the man. I would get rid of this, except it has the names on it. So that's being kept, that's been brought in. Let me just do a little, can you see, girls and boys? Like, look at that. I need to use these more, you see. Like, why don't I use them more? Because I have so many bloody palettes. I have like 75 palettes, and I'm trying to declutter some, even though I like them, so that I can, oh, it's just so beautiful. Use them, use them more. I'm trying to no pan left behind for a reason. Okay, so this is coming in. That's 3 palettes we have in, so just hold your horses, girl. I wanted to roll in one of these Latte palettes because I haven't used them in a while. One I bought, one that Christina Ann gave me, and I'd have to say, such a nice person. It just shocks me that people are watching. Right, will I roll this one in? Or will I roll... This is the one that Christina Ann gave me, and this is the one that I got. So, oh, there's kind of some springy tones in this one, so maybe I'll roll this one. This is so difficult. Like, why am I putting so much pressure on myself? I think I'll roll in the second one just so I can get some springy use out of it. I use Christine Ann one more than my own one. Now, there's that. We could put back some of these palettes now. Everything has a home in this house. Excuse me. So that's that. Now the other drawer. Okay, I keep all my singles on this side, so and these smaller Natasha Denona's to hold these ones here. These are too tall to be back here. That's why they're like that. And the reason why, there's a divider in here that won't come out, so I have to leave all these palettes here. There's single eyeshadows here. So I have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 palettes in. That is a lot. But the reason why I came over here is because I wanted to pull in some of these ColourPop ones, these Mint to Be. Like, here's the Mint to Be, and I don't even know if I've used this. I'll have to check my spreadsheet and see if I have. And then I have this Lilac You A Lot one, and I have it's just the perfect time, you know? The baby got peach. I know I have the orangey lad, but if I roll all of them in, I'll have a conniption, you know. So here's the 3 palettes. What do I want to do? I think I can get away without the peach one right now. So I can go back. Okay. With these 2, oh gosh, I kind of want to pull both of them in. Well, I'm definitely pulling this Mint to Be one in. Let me just do some swatches for you on the Mint to Be. Mint to Be. Do 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 do. Those are not the best swatches, are they? Right, well, we're going to pull in this one anyway, for sure. And then this will be like a bonus one. Obviously, by the time I do another shot in my stash, I'll probably have some carrying over. Right, let's go up the top and see what's going on. Right, here's my basket, and here's all my products. And we're going to put everything in here. All right, so leave the eyeshadows out. Here are all the palettes I'm rolling in, plus the 2 that are already, what's the 2? The one that's carrying over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 5, that's way too much, but sure, look, I'm overdoing it as it is in my mind. Okay, let's put these in here. I kind of store my lip products in these yolks that I got from Hélène. Hélène sends me things that I've been sick all the time, so I don't be writing to everyone as much as I would like to, but I just appreciate her so much because she exposes me to the best things ever. So I put my lip products and stuff in there. So I think what I'll do is I'll just put the lip products in here that I'm going to be using. So that's not working out. So there are all my lip products and the ones I'm panning. All up here on top where they ought to be. Now, and then my brush cleaner from Shop Messiah I keep here. Stuff I'm using right now. So here are all the palettes. Oh yeah, I'm rolling in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to carry over and 6. That is a lot. I'm not going to fit them all here, which is really annoying. But I'll put them, let me push this back. I can't put this away because I use it all the time. It's the KVD Alchemist and I use it all the time. So it takes up a full slot. So I'll put these here, and as I hit my goals, I will move them down. Now, and then this is just an eyeliner I made, so put that there. And then my little brush section ready. And that is everything. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you the next time. Take care. Bye. Thank you.